All right, so we're here at Deep Ravine. You can kind of see Deep Ravine behind us and the valley where the Indian village was. One of the things that's interesting about, or what I always enjoy as entertaining value, going to, national parks, battlefields, is listening to the public. And you guys who visit battlefields or national monuments, you know what I'm talking about as far as, walking by that one guy who thinks he knows it all and telling complete untruths. Or just his version of the story. But what's interesting about Little Bighorn is that no one really knows what happened, which makes it a lot of myth, a lot of legend, and a lot of stories of what happened here, and with no way to disprove it. You get a lot of viable ideas, but also a lot of crazy ideas. But without going on the crazy side, one of the things, as those of you who study the Little Bighorn know, that the Last Stand Hill wasn't your stereotypical what you see in the movies as far as Last Stand. And I'll give it to actually Brandon here to kind of talk about. Deep Ravine is actually one of your favorite areas on the battlefield, isn't it?
Yeah. There's a lot that went on here, obviously, but I've always been kind of a fan of this part of the battlefield. I don't really know why, but a lot of it because I'm a big fan of E Company, which were mounted on the white horses.
Yeah.
And everyone knows.
Looks good.
It looks good. Everyone knew where they were on the battlefield, and a lot of the Native American stories passed down from the days of the battle. They're always saying, oh, the white horses were here because they were the most visible. But we're standing right in an area where this company was deployed, and towards the end of the battle, as things were going downhill, literally going downhill.
Literally. Actually, here, let me
quickly.
I'll flip the camera around and give you a perspective of here.
So this is.
Maybe not. There we go.
Okay, rotate.
There we go.
Behind us is going to be Last Stand Hill. Up this way.
There we go. Right there. That's Last Stand Hill.
And so as things were going wrong, at least for the cavalry side, you're going to see one last push directly towards where the camera is right here. And so we were kind of talking about it earlier. It'd be quite something to kind of go back in time and, if you could just be a fly on the wall, so to speak, but turn and see the view as what survivors are left are making one last ditch effort to try to escape and get to the river and hopefully some sort of escape or safety. But what ended up happening was they got caught in that deep ravine down there, and it was the walls were too steep to climb up, and it just kind of became a death trap. So yeah, and thus ended the battle.
So, and then one of the last casualties were found in Deep Ravine. Correct, right?
Well, there's debate about that.
Well, I guess not. It depends what I mean by last. But as far as able to identify
remains,
right?
They were short. I think it's been a while since I read up on it, but there's about 22 bodies, I think, that were never really accounted for. As the Army came back years later and had several reburial attempts as everything is eroded out here, and the first couple times they really didn't bury them too well, especially the enlisted men. And so the ravine gets washed out a little bit every so often, and so either bodies get washed away or the walls of the ravine kind of cave in and cover them, but they still really don't know where they are. Most likely they're at the top of the ravine at the head there, but we'll never really know. But that's kind of one of the myths that has grown over the years. What happened to the last 20 guys that they couldn't really find years later? We'll never really know. But
all right,
we have a lot of guesses though.
Indeed. All right, we'll see you here in a little bit, maybe with another short video. Thanks for watching, guys.